So is this really the world's largest pedal display? I think it is. I mean, even half of it is probably the world's largest. I saw this, and then I saw some pedals over here, but then I realized it's only half of it. This is the other side. It's a little more boutique-y, I'd say, right?
This, for example, is insane. I have one of these.
Do you? I've never.
We should put that on because that's wild. I think Fuzz Face is probably a good call.
Yeah, I mean.
This is really great. I love the FZ1W. I'm interested.
Yeah,
I want to hear
that
Fender one. I've never even seen that before.
Yeah,
the new Fender stuff's supposed to be really cool.
Aftershock based.
Gotta do that one. Rack.
And it just goes like, I don't even know if it's overdrive. It's just something in the circuit where it fills in and just kind of starts to, when you open up a master to a certain, it might be, it probably is making a little bit of its own drive alone, but it's just this thing in the circuit where it just starts to sound, it just roars.
All right, cool. Yeah, start playing it all.
To show you guys a text. This is from JB. That would be Joe Bonamassa. This is a 2-page list of the original purchasers of the original SLO 100s around 1987, 1988. And when I found out about this amp, it was like, oh, you have to have that sound. And I think it maybe took him 6 months to build me one because they were already really popular, and he was working out of that shop on Melrose. So here's the page. So what do we got here? We've got Brad Whitford, Steve Lukather, Vivian Campbell, Michael Landau, Steve Stevens, Mark Knopfler, Henry Kaiser, Danny Korchmar, Eric Clapton, CC DeVille, and then at the bottom of the page, Tim Pierce. I got number 88050.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Dude.
Wow. Yeah, man.
Everybody hanging out, having a good time, getting ready.
Seems like yesterday I did not see
Brett Papa, Robert Baker, Thorn Congilio, Sean Daniels, Paul Caperoon, Red Show,
I forgot it in the other room and I gotta go find it. It's a little like Bluetooth mic.
Yours truly. By now, I'm sure you've realized this is Sweetwater in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're at Gearfest 2022, but I would call it more People Fest 2022 because some of my favorite educators, some of my favorite guitar players, some of my best friends were all there. And I had dozens of conversations with some of the hundreds of people at Sweetwater. They made us feel very, very welcome.
I do a small amount of students. During kind of the height of the pandemic, I needed something to do, people needed something to do, we were all stuck at home, and I took on as many students as I could handle. I think I was doing like 60-hour-long lessons a week at some point. I know. And since then, as life has returned to quasi-normal again, I've slimmed down my student number. Honestly, not even because I'm tired of it or something. I know a lot of us teach because we don't want to get real jobs or whatever, but like I love teaching. I love my students.
What's different for the gear side is until the YouTube platform, there was really never a thought that people needed advice or help or guidance in this area. But what happens now is I realize what you save people now is time and money in that experiment.
Right.
Just like when you teach music, you can learn. People always say like, I'm self-taught, right? Not me, but people say I'm self-taught. And I go, yeah, you can be self-taught, but you will go faster with a mentor. You will go faster with a support system. You will go faster with a path. And now, in this environment where we now have someone to teach us how to play, like you, and you now have somebody that says, hey, okay, now they're like, hey, I've got my chops up. Now I want to improve the stuff I play through. And you may not have a Sweetwater where you live, with a gazillion guitars and amps to track out. You gotta do it. Like I call it surrogate. You need somebody to tell you what they're experiencing with it.
Well, you help me, actually, and I think you help everybody, so we're all really, really grateful. I owned the original of this. It kind of already sounds like it. Can you change it to another setting for me?
Sure, right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you a little bit more of an age tape. I'm going to give you a lot more wow and flutter.
That's what I want. It's the modulation. It's the artifacts that I really crave. Oh yeah.
So now you can hear that.
And of course, for me in a musical situation, I'd be using a lot less of this. But for now, I want to hear it.
Sometimes I don't want the guitar to fight me. I just want it to play real easy and just play itself and not sit there and have to have a boxing match with the guitar the whole time.
Okay, so you brought up another thing that I wouldn't have thought of. When I get a PRS, I mean, Paul likes his action on the high side. It's a little higher than it could be. The thing about a PRS, I get the thing, and I lower it to where it's so low that it plays itself. And these guitars are made so consistently and so well that it doesn't fret out. I mean, I can bend.
Oh yeah.
That's the other thing, the consistency all through the line. I lower the action to where other players would be really annoyed. You might even be annoyed at how low my action is. The guitar literally plays itself.
Dude,
this is what I want.
I can't play low action.
Yeah, see?
I was talking to Brian at PRS about it yesterday. Yeah. He was like, oh, Tim plays super low. I can't do it. I go, my fingers fall over the strings.
I'm just ready for it to be easy.
Yeah.
This is a cliche, but to find your tribe, and if it's 4,000 people, fine. If it's 10,000, if it's 100,000, it doesn't have to be 1 million people. It doesn't have to be 100 million people.
No.
It's your tribe. It's true.
It's 100% true, yeah, because they in the old days would take most of your dough. The record company, you had your little 12% to split between all the band members or something, And now, if you can keep it small but keep it all.
Yeah.
Keep it small but keep it all, folks.
That's a good phrase. Wow.
Yeah. And then you're running a small business in a band these days, basically.
Truly.
It's a cool thing. You can't thin it out too much, or your single notes sound skinny and kind of it's not a cool thing,
Yeah.
But by the same token, I remember thinking that in the '80s playing boogie amps because they were real. They had a lot of mid-range, a lot of gain, and the single notes are just like, oh, this is so easy to play. It's like liquid. But when you play chords, it could be a bit of a mess, you know.
Right.
Whereas Marshall sounded great with chords.
Yeah.
But single notes were skinnier.
I still go through that. A great sound down here with chords is a little thin up here when you're up here soloing. So you do solve it with pedals. You switch to a different amp, but it's still, you've got to make a sacrifice in one direction if you want to solo. And a really great chord sound is probably too thin for soloing. Okay, so this is an adage that I've said to people when you're working in a collaborative place with people, and as a session guitar player in particular, but in any collaboration, you have to actually be willing to allow your ego to be completely obliterated and then bring it back full force immediately afterwards. And a lot of people can't do that. I learned to do it. So basically what I'm talking about is you're going to get your feelings hurt.
Right.
because you're going to try something you think is great as your heart and soul goes into it. And they're going to go, no, what else you got? And you really, your feelings get hurt. Sometimes you get mad. But you have to go, okay, recovery, come back strong with the new thing, the new concept, the new part, and keep offering that until everybody, you know, waves their checker flag.
Right.
So it's just part of it, you know. And there's always, you know, there's anger and there's hurt feelings, you know, when you're collaborating, but you move past it and you start over, and you know, you got to get strong immediately after, you know, after you get the rejection.
But the hard part seems to be, half of it could be the playing, the other half could be maybe the sound you're dialing in, they're not hearing that sound, which means, you know, maybe what you think should be the reverb or the delay, because then you've got people who want to mix stuff thinking, well, now you're taking things away from them because you're printing them. And I think you've said before, sometimes you would not marry those ambient tracks to the main guitar part, so it could be optional, right?
Right. Well, particularly with solos, I like for the delays to be not printed, because it can really date a solo to have too much delay on it. But really what's happened lately is that people are so busy when they make music, they want you to give them a finished track. And if that means it's totally wet, that's okay, because they don't want to have to take time to dial up something. One of the things I wanted to say about these pedals is that even though they are really, really versatile, I don't think you should ever be afraid to find your favorite setting, let's say on the Ruby, which is what I did when I made my presets for this.
Oh, right.
Find your favorite setting, and then it's okay to never change it. It's okay to use it forever.
Yeah.
I often find the one thing that I like that it does and use it forever. It's good to be seeking, but if you're making music and you find something that works, that's my sound. And I might not change it. I just want to give people permission to actually only use one thing if they want. Hey guys, a lot of the time YouTube will bring you my videos even though you're not subscribed. So if you get the chance, click the subscribe button and ring the bell.